You can use Microsoft Forms as a formative review. It's really great if your school is one-to-one or if your school is using distance learning or virtual learning. It's great for kids to use at home to practice for a quiz or test on their own. So if your school is a Microsoft school or an Office 365 school, I highly recommend you make use of Forms. First, to find it, you can go to your Office 365 homepage and click Forms. You can also come up to the waffle. If Forms is not under your apps, just click All Apps. It will be there. Once you're in the Forms page, and as you can see, I use this a lot for my classroom. I've used it for check-ins, I've used it for reviews, I've used it for reflections, surveys, and they can do unlimited practices. So I use this quite a lot in my classroom. My kids actually really enjoy it because it responds right away to them so they know what they still are struggling with before they go off to study some more. So if we were to make a new one, I'm going to click on New Quiz. Even though I'm planning on this as a formative assessment and a practice, I like the features built in a quiz because it helps kids practice like they are going to see on a quiz. So maybe to keep it super simple, I'm going to call this the addition review, and I might say this is a practice for Friday's quiz. You don't have to write a subtitle. You can if you want to add a picture. So maybe I say math symbols. You don't have to add a picture, but maybe you want to. So maybe I want to add in this one. You're also able to pull them from your OneDrive or upload them if you have something you already like to use. So that's just the basic setup of give it a title. That way you know, addition review or addition practice, whatever you want. Then we can start adding some questions. We've got multiple choice, we've got text-based, rating, date, and you have some other options if you're doing like surveys or if you want them to upload something, it's there as well. But since I'm using this as a formative assessment for kids to practice for what they're going to take a quiz or test on, I'm going to start with just a multiple choice. Said this was an addition review, so we're going to keep it super simple. 1 plus 1. You can put in as many answer choices as you want or as few. What I really like is that you have the option to display a message. So if a kid picks 0 when they hit submit, this message will pop up under their answers and it will say, remember, when you see the plus sign, we add, and you see a minus sign, we subtract. Whatever you want the message, you don't have to put a message. Maybe you want to say, great job. You can also choose to leave this blank, either way. Key things before you move on to the next question. Make sure you select your correct answer. Give it a nice little check. Make sure you give it a point value. That way kids can know right away how they've done on it. Even if you're not giving a real grade in the class, it tells kids where they're at. If there's more than one right answer, you can select multiple answers, and I'll show you that in a moment. And then I always pick the required because obviously it needs it. You do have the option of changing some things you can add in if you want to have calculator. We've got drop down. You can add subtitles if you need, but I don't need that. So for there, I've got my first question. If you're making a bunch of questions very similar, you can come up, click this copy button, and now I'm on question 2. So question 1's up there, and I can come in here and just change 5 plus 3. And then I change correct answer. Maybe I don't want any comments this time. I just want to make sure I have the right answer here. And it's right there. Change maybe a few of the other ones, and I just say 5. If you want to reorganize your questions, you can move this question up. You can change the order at any point, okay? So those are basic multiple choice. If you wanted to see a multiple response, so instead I might say, what numbers add together to equal, we'll say 8. So maybe I say 0, and 8. Maybe I say 1 and 8. Maybe I say 2 and 5. Maybe I say 6 and 2. You can click that multiple answers, and then you can click all the ones that are correct. Oh, I messed up. That one's not correct. I can unclick it if I want to give them any comments. Because they selected 2 answers, maybe I want to make this one worth 2 points. Okay. Sometimes I like to use the text function, so maybe in this question I say, when adding 3 plus 4, or I could say 3 plus 4, even keep it super simple, 3 plus 4 equals question mark. You can put in as many correct answers as you want. So maybe I want to write out 7. Maybe I want to put the number 7. Anything you think your kids might say that you would accept, you can put in here. What's really nice, even if you don't put it in, you can go back and give them the points afterwards, and I'll show you that at the end. Okay? Maybe you want to add in pictures, and you might say, in this picture, I'll throw in one science question just to show what I mean. So maybe I want a picture of the ocean floor. So if I search, once again, I can upload, or I can say OneDrive. So ocean floor, maybe I pick, let's say ocean floor cartoon. Okay, I want something super easy. I'm not loving any of these pictures. If you don't find a picture you like, you're always able to upload your own. So maybe ocean floor clip art. We'll say, maybe I'll change to forest clip art. Bear with me. Okay, we will go with this one here. That's fine. So we can add this in. And maybe my question, as I said, I'm going to pull a science question in, and I will say, name an abiotic feature in the picture. Really important, I want you to make sure you click this edit button and click alternate text reader, and that way if kids can't, their device might be more difficult to see, maybe they need it to be read to them. So I might say forest with rocks, trees, and stream. Whatever you want to use to describe it, that way kids can see it. Possible answers that are abiotic features, maybe they say a rock, maybe they say stream, maybe they say water, maybe they say dirt, air, anything they might think of. Now, they might come up with some ones that I don't think of, but I can go back and add them in at the end. So I give it 1 point. Coming up to making it, once I'm done, make it look nice, we've got options. You can choose some of the pre-made backgrounds. You can also, sometimes I just like to keep it simple. So a nice, simple theme. I can preview it so I see what kids will see, so addition review. And make sure that my pictures come through. And this is really nice. They can read to them. Oh, let it load for a moment. So immersion readers, by adding in that closed caption.
5. Name an abiotic feature in the picture.
Okay, and then
1 point. End of question. Close the reader to input your answer.
Okay, so they can click on this picture, and it also does it for them as well. Another nice feature, you can see what it looks like on a mobile device. I know a lot of our kids will end up using their mobile devices this year. So it shows you what it size-wise looks for kids on that as well. Okay. Last thing, before I share it, there's some settings that I personally turn on. You can pick whichever works for you. I like to show results automatically because, as I said, this is a formative assessment. You can choose that anyone with the link will respond. If you choose that, you want to add a question that says, what is your name? So that you can give kids credit if you need to. I keep this one on instead because I like to see my students using their school email address to reach this. I usually turn off the one response per person because, as I said, formative assessment, I'm letting them practice getting comfortable with the material. But if it's a real quiz, make sure you turn that on. You can have it, you got to have it accept responses. If you want it to be done, so we're taking that practice quiz on Friday, I can put that they have until Friday at 8 a.m., whatever time we start class, or you can choose to leave it off. It's fine either way. You can add a custom thank you message, and it might say your response was submitted. Feel free to complete. Oh, again. Oh, my thing does not want to type. Complete again for more practice. Okay, you might instead want to say, don't forget to play the Quizlet review as well. Whatever you want the message to be, you can put it there. Now, you can have it send an email receipt so that the kids get their link. So like if I want them to see the results, besides just when they first see it, click that one on. If you want a notification of each response, make sure you click on this one. When I give out a form the first time, I don't turn this on because I teach 100 students and it's very easy to get overwhelmed by the number of emails. After everyone completes it and I maybe say to a kid like, hey Johnny, go do it again, then I might turn this on so that it tells me when those certain kids have finished it the second time. Okay? Once you have the features on you want, you click share. You can copy the link into whatever platform your school uses. You have the option to embed it or copy the code. You can email it directly from your email. You can give a QR code if you want. Whatever works for your classroom. After kids take it, so I'm going to now show you one of the forms that my kids have previously done. So if I come in here, which form did I pick? I think reviewing balancing equations. So with my 8th graders this year, we did balancing equations. This was our quiz that we used to practice for their real quiz. What it looks like, all the questions are there. You can go in and edit questions after you make it live. As long as it has not started it, you're able to go and edit it. So, for example, in my first core, I found a mistake. I let my first core kids know what the issue was, but then for my second core, I fixed it beforehand. I didn't have to re-upload the link. It automatically edited it as long as the kid wasn't already in it. You can see their responses as they come in, so they start responding. You got a few ways to look at it. You can see their average score. So this one was out of 18 points, so that's not too bad. You can see, okay, everyone got this one right, not worried about this question. Most people got this one right. And you just kind of, you can look through and you can see, okay, we got a bunch of different responses, but multiple answers are correct. Just depending on what kind of question you ask, it shows you. Like, so for this one, most of them got it correct as well. Any one where you see a lot wrong, you can click on the more details and it will go to that question and you will see based on the children's name how they did. You can also choose to, so I'm looking at it, as I said, under responses, just in this general form. If you click review answers, it will pop up with this and you can look based on question or by people. If I'm looking, so this question, everyone got it right, auto-graded it, didn't have to do anything. Second question here, I had some kids, it said they got it wrong, but when I actually look at their responses, I can see it's right. So even though it was auto-graded as a 0, I can come back in post giving this quiz review, and I can auto-grade and change this to be a 1, and I can make a comment for this child and say like, hey, on the quiz, so on Friday's quiz, only put, it's moving real slow today, the internet, only put the number, not the element, okay? And then you can choose to, so it will give them back those points. So they'll have to, oh, sorry, my computer is moving very slow. You're able to add comments. You're able to re-give back points for students if they end up picking an answer that's slightly different. What's another nice feature? Sorry, my internet is moving very slow right now. You can come up here into people. Let me try refreshing. Let's see if that helps the issue. Cancel. Okay, we're refreshing this form. Here we'll come into reviewing answers again. So we're reviewing the answer. And sometimes we just have to be patient with our technology. Okay, so we're reviewing by question. If you're reviewing by people, and I'll block out this student's name, you can write a general comment. So if you see like they rush through it and you can say like, hey Johnny, please redo and take your time. Or, hey, I noticed you kept making this same mistake. Please go back and redo. Okay, so you can leave comments. It tells you how long it took them to take. Oh my goodness, my internet right now. Other option when you're looking at your form, you are able to look at the responses. You can review it by Excel. So if your school requires you to upload your data, I already pulled it earlier, but this is that same form. I've gotten rid of all their names already. You can see when they started, when they completed it, what their total score was, and you can see which questions maybe everyone seemed to get, this wrong, or this one here. You can sort it. It's already pre-done, so maybe I want to sort by ascending or sort by, you know, so that way you can see who you need to pull kid-wise. So now that I've sorted it based on this ascending, I know that I need to pull these two kids and just, quickly maybe reteach or show them again. So once again, forms, great tool for formative assessment, great tool for summative as well if your school doesn't have another option, but I really enjoy using it for formative assessment.